Alright, hello everybody, this is Coach Steve, and today we are going to do a 3-round, 9 exercise routine, and today is going to be all animal movements. So I will show you some progressions and regressions for these animal movements, and we'll get started here in a minute. Go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and twist side to side. It's really cold where I am recording right now, so I'm trying to get myself a little bit in the sun. Alright, nice side to side, warm up the spine, warm up the ankles. Nice and easy. Get that twisting motion going in your ankles. Alright, excellent. Let's go back to center. We're going to do a squat and a reach. Just go to where your body takes you. So a nice little squat. Reach it all the way up. Try to elongate that torso as much as you can. While you're warming up here, don't forget, if you need to get some water, go ahead and do that. Press pause if you need to. A mat is always good. If you're not in a place where you can get on the ground easily or you don't have a carpet. And for the most part today, we're going to be doing animal movements, so we won't need too much in the way of weights. So let's go ahead and do a chop. So reach it up and bring it down. Alright, switch sides. Try to get a little bend in that knee to warm up the knees and the joints. All right, let's warm up laterally a little bit. So just come into a lunge to the right and to the left. Alright, excellent. Let's stick our arms out. Let's go ahead and do some little circles with our arms. Alright, let's go the other direction. Nice and easy, keep it nice and tight. All right, let's put our arms down to the side. Let's go ahead and roll out our shoulders. All right, let's roll them the other way. Nice and easy. We loosen up those shoulders. We're going to do a lot of shoulder work today. Alright, excellent. Alright, when we get started today, we're going to start with the bear crawl, alright, or a static bear position. If you're unable to get on the ground, you can do a plank position off the wall or off of a heavy piece of furniture instead. Okay? But for those of us that are able to get on the ground, go ahead and get into quadruped position. we are tucking our toes under, all right, and lifting our knees up off the ground. So they only need to be about an inch or so off the ground, a couple centimeters. If you want to go ahead and do the bear crawl, you can. Generally, bears don't move very fast, so keep that bear crawl nice and controlled. Good job, 20 seconds. And again, you can do a static bear crawl, or if you need to go to a plank, that's fine too. I'll do the last 5 seconds in static. And rest. All right, our next one is Cobra. Now you can do Cobra off the wall too, but if you're gonna do Cobra on the ground, we're gonna lay on the ground, put our hands by our chest, and then we're just lifting our torso up, so we're not doing a push-up where we keep our legs off the ground. We're just going up and down with our upper body, so we're really trying to work that lower back. Engage the lower back, really lengthen out the abdominal muscles. Getting a little shoulder work in on this Cobra as well. Good job, 15 seconds. All right, and rest. So while we're down here in quadruped position, we're going to do donkey kicks. So if you need to stand to do donkey kicks, just keep your legs straight and kick your leg back from a standing position. If you're in this donkey kick position or quadruped position, we're bringing that leg up and bringing it back nice and slow, picking the other one up, and nice and slow coming back down. Go ahead and keep alternating. Tighten those glutes each time you kick it up. And rest. All right, we're gonna do a version of the ape crawl. So again, you can do a version of the ape crawl off of a chair as well, heavy piece of furniture. So from here, I want you to tip forward, tip it back, and then bring it up to a T position. All right, this is really gonna have you really focus on your balance as well. So tip it forward, tip it back, T position. Forward, back, T position. Whew. Nice and smooth. All right. All right, next we're gonna do a bunny hop. So if you're unable to hop, all I want you to do is get those knees together and bring it up and down like that, okay? All right, if you're able to bunny hop, go ahead and bunny hop. All right, really working your bone mineral density when you bounce like this. But if you need to do close-legged squats, it's perfectly fine too. All right, keep at it. 30 seconds. And rest. Good work. Next, we're going to go into plank position. So if you need to do the plank again off of a heavy piece of furniture or the wall, that's fine. We're going to do a little more controlled plank movement. So we're going to get into that plank position, and then from there, you're going to move your feet out and back. So from the front, it's going to look like feet out and feet back in. Feet out, feet back in. If you're doing a knee plank, then we can go arms out, arms back in. So do what you need to do for this one. Lots of core control on this one. Almost there. And rest. Nice job. All right, we're gonna go into crab position next. So again, if you need to do elevated crab with your hands up on a heavy piece of furniture, go ahead and do that. If you can get into crab position, and we're gonna do the crab a little different today, and we're gonna do a cross crab touch. So we're reaching across, whoop, and touching our toes. Reaching across. Keep it nice and controlled. If you're unable to get both of those limbs up at the same time, just lift one up at a time and you can circle around. All right, you got this. And rest. All right, for our next exercise, we're going to do an inchworm. So, an inchworm on a heavy piece of furniture, you're going to put your hands on the heavy piece of furniture and walk your legs back and in. An inchworm, from a plank position, you're going to walk your feet in and walk your feet out. Right, so that's kind of like a static, sort of static inchworm, because we're going to keep our hands rooted into the ground. The other option we have is walking our hands in towards our feet, get into that pike position, and walk it back out. And depending on your room, if you want to actually do an inchworm, where you bring your feet in, walk your feet out so you're moving, that's perfectly great too. And rest. All right, we're on our last exercise for round number 1. And our last exercise for round number 1 is going to be lateral ape crawls. All right, so we're going to get into that ape crawl position again. Put our hands to the side and hop our legs over. legs over. So, if you need to use a heavy piece of furniture to do that, keep your hands on the heavy piece of furniture, walk your legs right and left just a little bit, alright, so you can get that same motion. Try to get your knees bent as much as you can so you can increase the mobility of your knees and lower half of your body. So do what you need to do to help increase that mobility. And if you have more room, you can go laterally one way or another. Use whatever space you have. All right. And rest. All right, that's the end of round number 1. All right, let's take a minute. I'm going to take a minute to tie my shoes, but if you need to grab yourself some water, go ahead and do that. If you need to work on your breathing, go ahead and slow that breathing down. Try to take big, long inhalations, nice long exhalations, just to ratchet down that heart rate a little bit to get you ready for round number 2. All right, Blue Jays are getting anxious. All right, let's go ahead and get into that bear crawl position, whether it's on a chair or it's on the ground. Tuck the toes under and lift it up. Get those knees a little bit off the ground. If you want to walk it a little bit, you can. If you want to stay static, you can too. Try to keep those knees underneath your hips. Try to keep those hands underneath your shoulders. You got this. And rest. Very nice. We got our Cobra next. So again, if you can't get on the ground and you need to do this Cobra off of a wall, go ahead and do that. You're going to drop your hips in towards the wall and straighten your arms to get that same motion. So from here, hands right next to your chest, push it up, lower it down nice and slow. This is really working your lower back, getting some lower back strength. Almost there. And rest. All right, we're doing donkey kicks next. But remember, if you need to keep off the ground, we're kicking our leg back, lowering it nice and slow. All right, donkey kick on the ground, kick that leg back. Regardless of which kickback you're doing, make sure you engage those glutes. Really tighten those glutes as much as you can. animals are getting angry too. Keep it nice and smooth. Here we go. Got this. And rest. All right. So we're doing the ape tilts into a T position, right? Forward, backward, and out. So from a standing position, I'd like you to do a little squat and bring it out into a T. Okay? From an ape, tipping up, bringing our arms back. So when you bring your arms back and really pinch those shoulder blades, that's really good to help with your posture. Okay, excellent. So next we're going to do the plank when we're moving our feet or our arms. So you can do the same thing in a plank position on a wall as well. Ready? Or if you're not ready for that yet, just keep it in a plank position for this one. But if you're able to move, get in the plank position, move those legs out, and bring them back in. Since we're doing animal movements, this is actually called a dragonfly skim. Rest. All right, awesome. All right, we're doing a great job. We're getting through. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do our bunny hops. So again, if you can't jump, keep those knees together, dip it down, straighten it up. Okay, if you're able to bounce, go ahead and bounce. Bouncing does a lot more for your body. Lymphatic drainage it's good for. So, draining your lymph nodes. Bone mineral density. Lower body loading. It's good things. There. Awesome. Okay, next we're doing the crabs. So, we get down for the crabs. And again, you can do these off of a chair, but we're doing cross crab touches. So, right hand, left foot, left, right foot, left again. Alternating. And again, if you need to do crab releases, go ahead and do that. Perfectly fine. job. Keep it up. And rest. All right, next we got inchworms. So again, this is about moving our feet in and out as we go through this exercise. So if we start a plank and walk our feet in to a pike position, and we can also walk our hands out like that. All right, hands in, feet out to a plank. So if you have more room, you can just zip around the room doing inchworms. If you're a little limited on space, we can just bring it in and bring it out. And again, if you need to use a wall for this one, we're just moving our feet back a little bit. That puts a little bit of different pressure on our body than it is if we just do a regular plank off the wall. Right, we got one more thing to do in this round, and that's our lateral apes. All right, hands to the side, hop it over. And again, if you have to use a heavy piece of furniture, move your legs, keep your arms static, and move those legs right and left. That's the end of round number 2. All right, grab yourself a drink if you need to. Catch your breath. Get ready for the last round. And remember, if you only have time for 1 round, it's fine. If you have time for 2 rounds, that's good too. But I encourage you to use these movements throughout the day so that you can incorporate those into your life, especially if you're in a safe environment, and to work your joint mobility throughout the day rather than just once a week or once every or twice a week or however many times you do mobility exercises. All right, let's get into that bear crawl position. This is our last bear crawl for the day. Get in that quadruped position, wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Tuck your toes under and lift. And again, if you want to make this mobile, you can. If you want to keep it static, you can too. Personally, think it's a little harder doing it static the whole time. You got this. Hang in there. And rest. Awesome. All right. Our next thing is our cobras. We're coming down on the mat, we're lifting our upper body up. Alright. And again, you can do this off of a wall as well. When you do it off of a wall, you're going to drop your hips towards the wall and keep your arms straight. Alright, and rest. Alright, we're on the donkey kicks next. So remember, for donkey kicks, if you do them off of a wall, keep that leg straight and kick them back. Alright, here we go. Make sure you engage those glutes each time you kick back. Keep it up, almost there. And rest. Alright. Alright, so our next exercise is our ape with the reach. And we're going to call it a reach with a power up actually. So from here, let's tip it forward, shift that body weight, and bring it back. Whoop, a little unbalanced there. Shift the body weight, bring it back. Again, this move is really good for your posture, especially the second half. Whew. You got this. And rest. Alright, how you feeling? Pretty good? Let's go ahead and stand up. We're going to do our bunny hops next. And go. So remember, for our bunny hops, just bend your knees real nice and tight when you do that, if you're not able to jump. Otherwise, let's go ahead and jump it out for a minute. Got this, keep it up. And rest. Whew. All right, we're doing a dragonfly skim next. So we're getting in that plank position. Moving our feet out, back in, ready, and go. Keep it up. Keep that nice straight plank position. Enjoy that nature connection while you're tuning in. And rest. All right, super job. All right, we're doing our crab. Cross crab touches next. Again, do the crab off of the chair if you need to. Getting into crab position. Cross crab touch, let's go. You got this, keep it up. Whoop. And rest. All right, we're winding down here. We got inchworms next. Almost finished. Get into that plank position. We're either walking our hands in or walking our feet in. Good job, keep it up. And rest. Whew. All right, we are on our last thing for today, and that's our lateral apes. Then we'll stretch it out a little bit. Ready? And go. Got this. Whew. It's a tough one. It's getting warmer. All right, that's it. All right, if you need to grab a drink, go ahead and do that. We're going to stretch it out next. Feels really good. Really, really good. All right, let's put our hands together. Let's get our legs a little wider than hip distance. Interlock your fingers, stretch it up. So I want you to concentrate on stretching the torso, arms, all the way through the legs. Just lean it over to the side. about something you're thankful for. Maybe it's getting to class, maybe it's tuning in, it's the sunlight that you have in your area. Alright, let's bring our arms down. Let's roll out our shoulders. Just like we did at the beginning. Nice dynamic stretch for our shoulders. Alright, let's put our hands on our hips. Let's roll out our hips nice and easy. Alright, let's roll it the other way. Alright, let's get down to a half kneeling position and bring that leg out. And I want you to lean forward, really stretching out the inner side of your leg, these adductors. Get a really good stretch on that adductors. Alright, let's go ahead and switch. If you need to tilt your hips and glutes back towards your heel to get it to that stretch a little bit better, go ahead and do that. All right, awesome job, everybody. I appreciate you all coming. You can hit the follow button down at the bottom to get notified when I produce my next content. And if you need to reach out and talk about your health and wellness, you can find me on most social media platforms at wellnesswarrior.coach or under my regular old name. All right, thanks a lot for coming, and we'll see you soon.